and she's going to talk to you guys. And I told her, you are such good kindergartners.
So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit, and then at the end I'm going to give you time to ask questions, okay? So if you think of a question while I'm talking, remember it, and at the end I'm going to give you time to ask them, okay? So like your teacher said, I'm Andy, and I work at Rady Children's Hospital. Will you raise your hand if you've ever heard of that? Maybe a couple of you have? So this is what the hospital looks like. And at the hospital, do you want to help me hold some of these? At the hospital is, oh sorry.
I thought you were like
Yep. At the hospital is where kids come when they're sick, and then the doctors can help them to feel better, okay? Sometimes when the kids come to the hospital, they have to stay the night. Sometimes they stay only for one night, and sometimes they stay for a couple nights at the hospital. And when they stay the night, they stay in a room that looks like this, and there's a bed for them there. And then this couch here, it folds out into another bed so that the mom or dad can spend the night there, okay? And then, we also have, you want to show them what this is?
Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah, sometimes Grandma and Grandpa's go to the hospital too. So this right here, at the hospital, we have a playroom so that when kids come to the hospital and they have to stay there, they can come to the playroom and do arts and crafts or play games. We do fun things in that room, okay?
Like if you go through, but when we went to the jumping slide,
Yeah.
I fell down on my knee. And then that hurt.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened.
I
So I bet you guys have lots of good stories of maybe of a time when you got hurt or came to the hospital. But I'm going to save those for later, okay? So Zoe, is everybody listening? So sometimes when kids come to the hospital, they just come for the day and they come to our clinic. And Cameron can come to our clinic a lot. Where she comes and sometimes she just gets medicine and then she gets to go home. Back and forth, exactly. And we also have a place at the hospital like this. This is called our garden, and sometimes we do fun things here, huh? We have different events, and you can ride. There's tricycles out here you can ride. So that's another. And this is a playhouse. Yep, there's a little tree house you can climb up in here.
So not up.
Yeah, not at the very top. That probably won't be very safe, huh?
Yeah.
So I wanted to come today to talk to you guys a little bit about what happened to Cameron when she was a little bit younger, okay? So that you have a good understanding of why there are some things that are a little bit different, okay? So did you guys know that our whole bodies are made up of something called cells? Can you say cells?
Cells.
Cells. There's cells that make up our skin, there's cells that make up our hair, and there's cells that make up all of our inside and our blood, okay? Pretty cool, huh? So this is a bone, and inside of all of our bones is kind of like a factory where all of these blood cells are made. And they all have an important job. I'm going to tell you about some of them. You want to hold this one? This one is called a platelet. Can you say platelet?
Platelet.
Platelet. Have any of you ever fallen down and maybe you got a cut on your leg and start to bleed? Hasn't that happened?
Yeah. I got blood on my elbow.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, and the
I got
platelets.
one in my toe.
Okay, but lots of you have had that.
Zoe.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, so the platelets have an important job. When that happens to you, they go to that spot and they form a scab so that it doesn't keep bleeding, okay? So those are a good one that we all have. Then we also have, this one's really good too. This is called a white blood cell. Can you say white blood cell?
White blood cell.
And it's
I know what it does.
Yep, we'll do the red one next. Does somebody know what it does? Yeah, let me hear.
They eat the bacteria inside you when you're sick.
Kind of, yep, they eat, she said they eat the bacteria in you. So I like to say they fight off infection, they help you to stay well. But you're right, they help get rid of that bacteria that sometimes we get in our body.
I know.
Okay, hold on, I'm gonna keep telling you a little bit more, okay?
That's a red blood.
Yep, this one's a red blood cell. Can you guys say red blood cell?
Red blood cell.
And its important job is it takes all that air that we breathe throughout our whole body, okay? So those are all really
Like
good.
a bus will take air.
Yep. So these three right here, these are all really good, healthy cells that we all have. And our body's making them all the time.
Wait.
Okay? So the doctors, when Cameron came to the hospital, they knew that something wasn't quite right. And so they wanted to take a closer look at the cells inside of her bone marrow to see if they were doing their jobs the right way. And what they found is that there was an extra cell that was in there that wasn't doing its job the right way, okay? And this is called leukemia. Can you guys say leukemia? Raise your hand if you've heard of leukemia before. Some of you have heard of it. leukemia is a type of cancer. Can you guys say cancer?
Cancer.
Raise your hand if you've heard of cancer before. Lots of you, it looks like. So basically what it means when you have leukemia, can you guys say leukemia?
Leukemia.
It means that your blood is sick, okay? And the most important thing I can tell you is that it wasn't anything that Cameron did wrong that caused her blood to get sick. It's not her family's fault. It's nothing that anybody did wrong, okay? Sometimes this just happens to kids, okay? And so the other important thing is that you can't catch it from somebody else. Have you guys, do you know what the word contagious means? Have you heard of that? It means like, say if I had a cold and maybe I accidentally sneezed on you, you might catch my cold, right? But you can't catch cancer or leukemia from somebody else, okay? So when the doctors found out that Cameron had leukemia, they knew that they needed to give her a medicine to help get rid of these, okay? So that she could get better. And so to get that medicine, she had to get something that we call a port. Can you say port? Port. Okay, so I'm going to pass this around so you can see it. I'm going to show you it on my doll too, but this is what a port looks like, okay? And this actually goes underneath your skin. So Cameron got a medicine that... Nope, this part's not pokey. There, I'll show you. You want me to show them the part that's pokey? Because you have to see how brave Cameron was. So this part doesn't have any pokies on it, okay? So you can pass it around and you can all feel it. But while Cameron was asleep, the doctors gave her this medicine that helped her body to fall asleep, so she didn't feel anything, okay? And as soon as they were done putting that port in, they stopped giving her the medicine and she woke back up, okay? But while she was asleep, they made a little opening right here on her chest and they put this underneath her skin. See, like this? And there's this big vein. See those blue lines like that I have here? We all have those. That's where the top of this little flimsy little tubey went right there. So, did you hear Cameron saying, is that the part that has the poke on it? Did you hear her say that? So, let me show you. This is pretty cool, how brave Cameron was. So, everybody's going to get to feel it, okay? Can you guys all look up here? Because you'll get a chance to feel that when it comes around, okay? So, when Cameron was at the hospital, the nurse would put this on the outside of her skin so that she could get her medicine through this little tubey right here. But when she would go home, this part got to come off. But do you see right here? Do you see that there's a poke on the end of that? What do you guys think of pokes? Do you like them or do you not like them? I don't know many kids that do like them. But Cameron had to be super brave. Every time she came to the hospital, they would put a medicine. It looked kind of like lotion right here on her, where that little circle part was underneath. And it helped made her skin numb there. Do you guys know what the word numb means? It means that you can't feel it, okay?
No, I got numb in my mouth when I went to the dentist.
Yeah, sometimes when kids go to the dentist, they get a medicine that makes their mouth numb. I bet you guys have good questions. Let me keep going, okay? So she would come to the hospital and they put that cream on so she didn't feel it, and then they would have to put this part in right where you feel it kind of feels like a bouncy ball, and you'll feel it on that port. They put that right there and then put her sticker back on so that she could get her chemo while she was at the hospital. Did I tell you guys that's what the medicine was called? Yeah? Can you guys say chemo? Chemo. Chemo's the medicine that Cameron got to get rid of these. Do you remember what they're called? Leukemia cells. Okay.
We never want to get those.
Yep.
We don't want to get those.
I know. We don't ever want any kids to have to get these, but sometimes it just happens and it's not their fault. And so when that happens, then the doctors know they need to give them chemo to get rid of them. Okay? I know. It's not fun. Okay. Well, listening. So, everyone, I want to tell you a little bit more. Are everybody listening? So, the good news is that Cameron, she got that chemo, and it took a while for those leukemia cells to go away. She came back and forth to the hospital for a long time. It was almost, how many, 2.5 years. She came back and forth to the hospital. Can you imagine that? 2.5 years? That's a long time, huh? So, when the good news, the really exciting news, is that those leukemia cells, remember these ones? They're all gone. She doesn't have any more of those. So that is really exciting. So she doesn't have leukemia. She doesn't have cancer anymore. Okay? That's exciting news. So I wanted to talk to you about one other thing that sometimes happens when kids get that chemo medicine. So you guys remember what it was called? The medicine that gets rid of leukemia? What's it called? Chemo. Leukemia, and the medicine's called chemo. Okay? And so sometimes that chemo medicine can affect something that's called your nerves. Can you say nerves? Nerves. So do you see this picture of the body here? Do you see these lines that go all the way, and they're all throughout our whole body? Do you see that? Those are called nerves. And the brain, our brain sends signals to those nerves, and it tells it what to do. It tells us how we want to walk and all of those things. And so one of the things that happen, those are other parts about our body. Our bodies are pretty amazing. They do lots of different jobs, and we don't even realize that they're doing it. Okay? So those nerves, when Kaylin got the chemo, when Cameron got the chemo, I know, that's what I was thinking of. One of her other friends got chemo too, and her name's Kaylin. But anyway, so that chemo medicine, it hurt some of the cells, or some of the nerves that are down here on her legs, okay? And as a result, it makes her walk on her toes. Have any of you noticed that she walks on her toes?
No.
Maybe. Maybe you haven't, maybe you have. But if you've wondered that and thought, why does she do that? It's because of that medicine that she got, okay? And so I want you guys to stand up, and we're gonna try something. Have any of you ever tried walking around on your toes for a long time? It's pretty tricky. So it's pretty amazing that Cameron can do this.
It's easy.
Okay, well, so what we're gonna do, we have a little medal over here. Do you want to hold it up, Cameron? We have a medal. Oops, here, let me grab it for you. We made a medal, and we're all gonna practice walking around on our toes and see what that feels like. And then Cameron's gonna pick one of you that she thinks was a terrific toe walker, and you get to wear this medal and take it home, okay? So everybody practices walking on your toes and see how you can walk around. Is it kind of tricky?
No.
It's kind of hard to hold your balance a little bit?
Stay on your toes. Stay all the way on your toes the whole time.
Everybody walking on their toes? Okay, so everybody come back down.
All right, back down to the carpet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Up, sit where you are. 2, 1. Sitting. Grace, stop. It's okay. Then all stop sitting.
Everybody listening? You all were terrific toe walkers, but Cameron's gonna pick one of you that she thinks was an amazing toe walker. Who's it gonna be?
No, we're supposed to.
She's thinking about
No,
it.
you give it to
You all did an awesome job.
No, it's me. I give it to her.
Paul.
Why did you?
Paul. Who do you pick, baby girl?
You know? Oh,
Cameron.
awesome. Okay, so when you guys were walking on your toes, was it kind of hard to keep your balance?
No.
Maybe. Some of you did. Do you think if you were walking like that all day, it might be hard to not ever step down on the backs of your feet? Yeah. So it's pretty amazing that she can do that, and it's something that is just because of the medicine that she had. Okay, so it's not anything that she realizes that she's doing, and it may not be like that forever, but for right now, sometimes it's like that. So have you guys ever, do you guys ever know about, like, sometimes when kids tease other people because they do something that's different? How does that make people feel? Sad. Does it hurt their heart when people make fun of them? Hurt their feelings, yeah. So,
Wait, save story, Zoe.
I'm gonna give you guys some time. Oh, just a minute. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how we can be a good friend and to not make fun of others because maybe something's different. Thank you so much. You know what's pretty neat is that all of us are different. Isn't that special? Because if we were all the same, it would be kind of boring, huh? Okay, and so, but sometimes when we see others that are different than us, sometimes we're not really sure how come they, look different, or why do they do that that's different, and sometimes we make fun of them, and that hurts their feelings. And so it's important not to do that, because if you've ever been made fun of or teased, you know that it hurts, okay? So I wanted to encourage you guys that maybe if you've ever noticed that about Cameron and you've wondered, now you know why she does it. And if you see other kids, is everybody listening? At recess or out when you're outside and maybe they're looking at her and wondering or pointing, what's something that you can do? Do you guys have ideas of what you can do to help them understand? Yeah, do you have an idea?
Use words.
Yeah, you could use your words. You can